about respect, yeah.
So Paul Valentino, man, I talked to you a couple weeks ago on the phone. Eric from NBC is the one that told me about you. He said that you got some cool stuff going on. And I just seen on Facebook where KDM Customs wrapped your trailer. So I guess y'all are getting ready to do some big stuff. So what's up?
We are very blessed. The Wounded Warrior Outdoor Adventure started in 2009 by our president, Bob Giordano. And in 2014, it became an official 501(c)(3). And it has skyrocketed since then. And, one of the things that we have done is everybody that sits on our board, we're all the volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
So one of our big venues is the actual mud runs, the yearly mud runs that we're having once a year. Those are our biggest events because that is the driving force with sponsorship. And some of the events that we do is we actually, are able to fund a lot of other events off of that one. So COVID hit and we didn't have the mud runs, but 2024 we have our annual mud run.
Mm-hmm.
What's really special about this mud run is it's going to be actually at our campground, our 72 acres.
Where's that?
It's Camp Serenity. It's 88 Sturdivant Road in Colton, and we have 72 acres. We are very blessed through large donors to get us a weatherproof, kitchen, bathrooms, laundry facilities in our welcome center up front. We have 72 acres where we have 7 cabins. Each cabin was donated and put there either for their company or my special one is a mother who lost her son in the war. She sponsored a cabin. What's really neat about our campground is it's for vets. Yeah. It's for their families. It's for their children. And it's always available. It doesn't cost. And it's there for that therapeutic. It's there to relax and there to get away. But we finally now are bringing that mud run, 2024 mud run, to our Camp Serenity, and we're absolutely ecstatic about it. We've been very blessed by having 2 donors. We have some healthcare donors in Malone and Potsdam that has sponsored. We have a lot of other sponsors. It doesn't matter if you're a small sponsor, large sponsor. This is a very important event because you get your name, and recognition on the T-shirts. You get your name and recognition on, some of our merchandise. And so it's really neat. And that is probably one of the nicest things that I've seen is this is really coming to fruition and it's really coming along nice. That's what's important to me.
Yeah, and it ain't even really about you being recognized. I mean, the military and the vets is a very important thing. I mean, to be recognized as far as on a sponsorship level. I mean, you're going to sleep good at night for knowing you help some people.
I tell a lot of people, you spend your whole life in a career,
mm-hmm.
and then you come home and you don't know what to do next.
Right.
And some of our men and women are injured. Some of them have, emotional issues, psychological issues, or just mental health, medical issues. So we never know. But, to extend that hand,
mm-hmm.
I always learn that we don't give a hand out, we give a hand up. And it's to see the men and women come and have that recreation, have that therapy of fishing or hunting or camping or canoeing or kayaking, whatever it is just that time that you could just be with people, be with your families, be with your loved ones, and actually feel like everything that you've done matters. And I think that's really important today is how many people out there, sometimes just don't feel like they matter.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we, have to change that. We have to let everybody know that they matter and that they mean something to us in this world.
So this has been increasingly growing, you're saying?
Yeah, it started off and it's just slowly trickulated to this. We don't know where tomorrow's going to be because, we're just excited about today. But, it's the whole thing is just getting our logo out, getting our nonprofit out there, letting them know we're available, letting them know they could reach out, let them know that we have these things available for them. so they could enjoy themselves and enjoy their families.
How will they find out about this? I mean, how have you approached the?
It's very simple. It's Wounded Warrior Outdoor Adventures, WWOA. We're on Facebook, or we're on WWOA, WoundedWarriorAdventures.com. There you'll see our mission statement. You'll see, when we generated. You see the board members. You'll see everything. You'll see pictures of our last events. We just had a bass tournament this weekend.
Oh, really?
Where it was free, and we had local boat captains come in and take our vets and our families out on the St. Lawrence River to fish. In Ogdensburg, we have Howie's. He is absolutely wonderful. He sponsors a lot of our events and offers post event meals, and it's just a place to fellowship, and it's just really neat. How all this, comes about.
Man, the mud runs are cool.
And
I've always wanted to do one.
And what's funny is, every year it kind of changed, where you had a lot of mud and a lot of water, and you still had the same, obstacles that you had to go around. Then we had coming out of the mud, you get the color chalk and the color, so it's different every time, and it's fantastic because we get the ROTCs, from Clarkson and Potsdam and SUNY Canton, and we had Boy Scout troops, and we had hospitals and rehab centers, and it's everybody coming that's in the community. Some will run, some will walk around the obstacles, but you know what? At the end of the day, it's just finish, and it's be healthy, be safe, and finish, and know that we're out there, and our hearts and our minds are with them, and we're always with them, and they're never by themselves.
That's a heck of a thing y'all are doing, man. I appreciate that. I knew that it was that somewhat of what you did, but I didn't know it was going to be on that scale. I didn't know that it was going to be on that scale because I knew you said something about the cabins and stuff. I wasn't really sure what I was going to find out about that, but you do the fishing stuff too. So, and you said hunting? We
do hunting. Yes, we have. We take our vets turkey hunting. We take them deer hunting. We have a pheasant hunt once a year. We are tied with the Elks and in Messina. They are just absolutely great contributors for us. There's probably a list so long I couldn't. Mountain Hollow Calls, another one. He's always sponsoring events for us. So yes, we will have hunting trips. We have one raffle every year that actually we have. They get to go to Alaska for a hunt.
So you hunt on the 75 acres?
You can hunt on the 72 acres. Also, we have some other parcels that have been donated to us for hunting. That we could take people for. It's really neat at our campground because we actually have a hunting blinds that are actually meant for wheelchairs and track chairs. So we do have some of our vets that are in track chairs. And, that's available for them to move around to go hunting.
That's what I was wanting to ask you about. So the wounded part of it, what does that look like as far as like the wheelchair thing?
Right. Yeah, we have track chairs available. Some of our hunters have their own track chairs. We're in the process of always looking at other ways, maybe either, acquire more track chairs or, try to come up with other types of mobile devices. Last year we bought an actual shooting device that actually would fit on a wheelchair that is more of a stable platform for some of our vets that are confined to a wheelchair to shoot from. So, it's kind of like trial by error. We look at things, we experience things, and then we try to fit it to that particular need, which is really special.
And that's awesome that y'all are doing that. I've seen a lot of missing limbs, you know what I mean? Like, and for military guys, and I was wondering how you would approach that far as taking a hunting and fishing, and we got special.
We have a lot of our volunteers, we have a lot of our board members that are extremely experienced in hunting and fishing. We look at different ways, we look at different means, to take them hunting, and it's important that they want to hunt, they hunt. Sometimes you take them out there and they may never have the opportunity to see game, but just being with them and hearing their stories and talking with them and let them know and letting them hear you, and that's I think that's important. And it's not only important for them, but it's very important for the families. For some people, it's the meat, or for us, it's the adventure.
Yeah, heck yeah.
It's a way that you see families come together, and I think that's important. And that's what was really important about this mud run this year is extra special. Is trying to make it that just extra special, being the first time it's going to be on our campground.
What's the date on that?
That's September 7th.
September 7th.
If you go onto our website, we also have sponsor packets that are available. So anybody that wants a sponsor, that's available for them. They could reach out to any one of the board members or me, and they're more than welcome to kind of give them a sponsor packet. It explains to them what we do, what their sponsorship includes, and our first flights and runs will start about 9 a.m. It will go through, and then at the end, you have a group and have different things and some fellowship.
So, Paul, I want to switch gears real quick. You were dropping some really interesting stuff about yourself before we started recording. So let's get a little background on you. You played football.
Yeah, I was very fortunate. I was a Midwestern kid from Ohio. I come from Steel Mill City in Youngstown, Ohio. And anybody that knows anything about the steel mills back in the 80s, things went belly up. I was from a city right outside suburb of Youngstown called Struthers. And I was very blessed to be able to play football and track and baseball. And you kind of learn, being a, blue collar kid, you're not going to go to college. You're gonna, and I was very blessed. I was very blessed to be able to go to college and play football. I was very blessed to get an education and move on, and do things. But when I came back to Ohio, it was time for me to figure out what I was going to do, and from there, I got into public service.
And you said you played some Canadian ball?
I was up in Canada for a very, very short time. Short time. Trying out and trying to make the big leagues. But when you're already hurt, and it's kind of hard to do. So
what happened?
The same. I was a fullback. I was a running back. And,
oh, man.
Sometimes, you get hurt. So I was very lucky to have some tryouts and try to carry my football career on. But it come to the point to where, how much more are you going to continue to get?
Right.
So it was real lucky. I came home and moved to Florida and started my career in 1987, and it just went from there.
And you ended up as a chief of police.
Yes, sir. I started off in law enforcement. My first position in Florida was at Florida State Prison, a Supermax prison, and I worked death row and I worked Supermax. I was there for several years, and then slowly I trickulated out to the road to work for the sheriff's office, and I retired in 2019 as a police chief. That was probably one of the most pinnacle parts to make it that far.
Yeah.
And then I helped colleagues of mine. I worked with them on police inspector. And so I'm staying busy. I work from home. So I'm an academic administrator for Remington College, and I'm able to teach at, Remington College. I teach classes and develop programs and curriculum and work on projects. So I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky to make it to that level. I think that's what kind of drew me to Winter Warrior Outdoor Ventures. Is that, when I retired, I was sitting out, I didn't know what to do. I remember staring at my window saying, tomorrow morning's my last day, and I spent the last 35 years in work.
Right.
I spent my whole career working in law enforcement and working at the police academies and teaching, and there was that brief moment I didn't know what to do. And you were kind of like, lost. And a lot of people don't realize that, that you work so long that your phone's always ringing, you have colleagues and friends and everything around you. And then when you retire, you're just kind of left out there.
Yeah.
So I was very blessed. My next door neighbor, Tom LeCamper, came next door. We started golfing together. We started, part of that therapy that I needed was there. And from there, he invited me up here, to go to...
where were you living at?
We live in Central Florida.
Okay. So you were down there.
Yeah, we're in Central Florida. And I came up and I just fell in love with this area because it's a little bit like home, that I've experienced. So I fell in love with this place, and Bob Giordano and Scott Walworth and, all the guys that were, Tim Kelly and all the guys that were on our board at the time. They were just like, you're welcomed. And from volunteering and coming up, next thing you know, you're asked to be part of the board, and then from there you purchase a little camp up here, and it fits. And and that's what's really special, because even though I didn't come from a background of the military, I came from a background of public safety. They welcomed, and they accepted us, and they accepted me and my family. And I think that's what's special. And that's what's really special about, again, about our organization is that we don't do handouts, we do hand-ups, and we're there to help, and we're there to just make a quality of life for somebody.
That's dude. I'm glad I keep running into people who are passionate about serving the community and things like that. And I bring strangers in here and set them right there, and I find, and I don't know, there's something vibing I'm finding these guys just like yourself that are passionate and driven and do stuff like that for the community, dude. It's pretty awesome.
It's important, that you're only as good as your last effort.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things.
I like that quote right there.
It's just one of those things that what you have to do,
mm-hmm.
and that it should be done, and you do it. And if you do it for the right reasons and you do it the right way, most of the time you're going to get the right results. And I think that for us, we've been very lucky. We've had extremely fantastic leadership.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a lot of good things that happen for us, and we've all do it because it's just a support of the community. We're located up in Chase Mills. We're just, we're right outside the Messina and Potsdam area and the Ogdensburg area, and but it's our vendors. It's our community. It's the organizations that are around us that support us. It's and the list. We could talk probably for hours on the support that we get.
Yes.
But if it wasn't for that, and it wasn't for just extending that, and we do have some very beautiful things that we want people to come and see what we have to offer. We want them to come to our mud runs. We want them to be part of that and see. And and we have a volunteer group that actually they volunteer for our events, and they come out and they help us for our events and help us do things. So it's one of those special things, but the sponsors and the organizations and just that fellowship and that kinship is really what makes it work for us.
Oh, heck yeah. And y'all have a pretty much a year-round service, right? So.
Yes, we're year-round. Our campground, naturally, because of the winters are a little harsh up here,
Mm-hmm.
the campground will close, usually around October, November-ish, depending on the weather.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also other things that will have bullhead tournaments or ice fishing tournaments or carp tournaments or something. Yeah, we still have, and Bob, our president, Bob Giordano, he is so tied to everything, though. He's tied to the junior bass fishing, and he's tied with the AMFETs and the Elks and Sandy Pond, gun clubs and, Norfolk and Norwood. And so we're always trying to do something with somebody, because as much as they do for us,
mm-hmm.
Bob has always taught us, let's do for others.
Yeah.
So it's exciting.
Now, what's Bob's background?
Bob's retired Air Force.
Okay.
Bob is retired Air Force, and he worked his way up. But Tom LeCamper, our chairman, is retired Air Force. So we do have, we have Tim Callahan is retired Air Force.
Okay.
And then the other ones we have are, we have Army and we have Navy and public service, and it's a hybrid of everything, and it's really a neat thing to come see our organization and see what we're about.
So what y'all do with the fund is for that, y'all start funding the fishing trips and all that stuff here?
Right. Like I said, we're a 501(c). Everything we do, it's all nonprofit.
Mm-hmm.
Everything we do is through donations and through gifting and through running, funding,
Mm-hmm.
different funding venues. But everything that comes in goes back into the program.
Mm-hmm.
It goes in for helping people. We've had some people that didn't have oil for the winter. We're able to use our funds to support them. We're able to use our funds to support our campground, to support different fishing venues, to support different tournaments. So it's always, always doing something that is just generating that excitement and generating that productivity that we have.
How are you doing far as how many people you're expecting this year? More than last?
We are hoping, because of this is at our campground,
Yeah.
we're really hoping for a lot of people. It's something that you could put your finger on and know that hopefully each year you're going to have this event.
Yeah.
And just from the time I've been involved, I've seen the same groups and the same people and the same organizations come to support. And that's, and we try to do the same. And that's, I think, one of the highlights that I had a couple of years ago is we had a Marine in Potsdam that was stage 4. He was getting ready to leave us, and we all went down and spent the day with him.
Oh,
And just were there. And that's not rare. That happens all the time. Somebody is making a phone call, or somebody is going to visit, or somebody is just talking. And that's, I think, the most important thing is just, we're out here, we're available. And, again, just all you gotta do is reach out.
I mean, because you got to think, some military people, I mean, they think that they've got, a lot of people have got these families and stuff to go to. I mean, some people need that kind of family outside of the military. You know what I mean?
Well, they always says once in the military, sometimes you're always in the military.
Mm-hmm.
And they need that.
Mm-hmm.
Life changes, and unfortunately, sometimes we don't. So it's always good to have a comrade or a battle buddy or somebody there, somebody that knows, and then from there, and it's good that they work with the families too, to allow the families know, that we're available, to help them.
Well, Paul, we're getting ready to wrap this up. Do you want to give any shout outs to any particular sponsors?
Yes, we have had the healthcare out of Potsdam.
Mm-hmm.
We've had the healthcare out of Malone, and we have several local sponsors that have really done a lot. We've had AMVETS and VFWs and the Elks Club, and I mean the list is so long. I would go on forever.
Right.
But it's Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's,
Home Depot.
everybody everybody has pitched in, and I think that's the special thing, is that they see the value in it. The construction companies and so many different things. The list could go on and on and on. And these are just, a few venues that I've talked to people, but every one of our board members has somebody, that has participated or sponsored or helped with. And, we would probably, in next podcast, we could bring a whole list and show you all of the sponsors that we had and the things that we do. And it doesn't matter how big or how small you are, we're all just one big family trying to make something better for somebody else.
Well, Paul, I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, sir. Thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you again.